National parks are easy to get lost in. Every year, people disappear on trails they thought were safe. Some are found later, confused and far from where they started. Others are never found. A lot of them say the same thing before it happens. They only stepped off the trail for a moment. Tonight, I'm going to share 3 stories from people who got lost in national parks and what they experienced while trying to find their way back. I wasn't supposed to be alone that day. My friend canceled last minute, but I'd already made the drive, already packed everything, and I figured it's a marked trail. How bad could it be? The park ranger even told me, just stay on the path and you'll loop back around in a couple hours. So I started hiking. Everything felt normal at first. Birds, wind through the trees, the occasional person passing by. But about an hour in, I realized I hadn't seen anyone in a while. That's when I noticed the side trail. It wasn't marked on my map, but it looked worn enough that people had definitely used it. I figured it might lead to a lookout or something. I stepped off the main trail, and that was my first mistake. At first, it just felt quieter. The trees got thicker, blocking out more light, and the air felt still, like everything had just stopped. I kept walking for maybe 10 minutes before I realized I hadn't seen any markers, no signs or footprints. So I turned around, except the trail behind me didn't look right. I know how that sounds, but it didn't. The path seemed narrower, like it had shifted somehow. I tried to retrace my steps anyway, but after a few minutes, I couldn't find where I'd entered from. That's when my phone lost signal. I started to panic a little, but I told myself to stay calm. People get turned around all the time. Then I heard footsteps, and they certainly weren't mine. They were behind me, slow and spaced out, like someone was walking carefully, matching my pace. When I stopped, the footsteps stopped, but when I turned around, there was nothing but trees. I kept walking faster this time, and a few seconds later, the footsteps came back. Same rhythm, same distance behind me. I didn't turn around again. I just kept going until I saw what looked like a clearing ahead. When I stepped into it, I was surprised. It was the main trail, exactly where I had started. Same sign, same bench, same everything. But here's the part that still messes with me. I checked the time. I had been gone for almost 6 hours. And when I asked the ranger about that side trail, he told me there wasn't one. I had hiked in that park at least a dozen times, so I wasn't worried about getting lost. That's probably why I didn't take it seriously when the fog started rolling in. It came out of nowhere. One minute I could see the valley below me, and the next, everything was just white, thick, heavy fog that swallowed the trail completely. I decided to keep moving, thinking it would pass. Big mistake. Within minutes, I couldn't see more than a few feet ahead of me. trail disappeared, and every direction looked the same. That's when I realized I had no idea where I was. I tried using my phone, but there was no signal. My GPS wouldn't load. So I did what you're not supposed to do. I picked a direction and started walking. At some point, I started hearing voices, faint at first, like people talking somewhere in the distance. I remember feeling relieved. I thought I was heading toward other hikers. I started calling out, but no one responded. But the voices kept going, just quiet conversation, like I was overhearing something I wasn't meant to hear. The weird part was, I couldn't make out a single word. I followed the sound for what felt like forever, but it never got any closer. It just stayed the same distance away, like it was leading me. Eventually, I tripped over something and fell hard. When I looked down, I realized I was right at the edge of a steep drop. Like one more step, and I would have gone over. The voices stopped immediately. I sat there for a long time, too afraid to move, until the fog finally started to lift. When I could see again, I realized something that didn't make sense. I wasn't anywhere near the trail. I was miles off course, and the direction I had been walking in would have taken me straight over that edge. I went missing for almost 2 days. At least, that's what everyone tells me. But for me, it didn't feel like that. I remember hiking with my brother. We were joking around, taking pictures, just enjoying the day. At some point, I stepped off the trail to get a better angle of a waterfall. It couldn't have been more than 20 feet. When I turned back around, the trail was gone. No sign of it. No sign of my brother either. I called out for him, expecting an answer right away, but I didn't get one. I kept calling, louder this time, but the sound felt wrong, like it wasn't traveling very far. That's when I noticed how quiet everything was. No birds, no wind, no sounds at all. I started walking, trying to find anything familiar, but the forest just kept going. After a while, I came across a man standing between the trees. He was facing away from me. I felt this immediate relief, like finally, someone who could help. I called out to him, but he didn't move. I walked closer, and still nothing. And then, right when I was about to reach him, he stepped behind a tree. Just one step, and he was gone. I rushed over, thinking he was just messing with me or something. But there was no one there. No footprints, no sound, no sign of him. That's when I started to feel like I was being watched. Not from one place, but from everywhere. I don't remember much after that. The next thing I knew, I was waking up in a hospital. My brother was there, along with a ranger. They told me I had been missing for almost 48 hours. Search teams had been looking everywhere. And here's the part I truly can't explain. They found me less than a mile from the main trail, in an area they had already searched twice. I tried to tell them about the man I saw, but They just looked at each other like they'd heard it before, like it wasn't the first time someone had said that. And honestly, I don't think it was. National parks are beautiful, but they're also unpredictable. It doesn't take much to get turned around. One wrong step, one bad decision, and suddenly you're somewhere you don't recognize, with no clear way back. And sometimes people come back with stories that don't make sense. Stories about voices, footsteps, or things that shouldn't be out there. So if you ever decide to explore one of these places, just remember to stay on the trail, because the moment you don't, you might not be alone anymore. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to True Terra. And until next time, stay safe out there